we go. Man, the Cavs look good.
Do the Cavs look good? Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
they do.
we're live, by the way.
The Cavs look
I didn't
good,
think
ladies
about
and
it.
gentlemen.
Yeah, the apparently you were tweeting out about them earlier. Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
these Saints are starting to look good, man. Like the
James
I
Winston
mean,
is starting to look
okay,
good.
not good. It's been kind of a bad game overall, but
Yeah.
they're looking like they're probably gonna
Don't you jinx
go
James Winston.
ahead. Now, I mean, they still got to finish off the game to get the win. I
Come
will
on,
say
Kamara.
though, did you say Lamar?
I said Kamara. I said, come on, Kamara.
Oh, Kamara. Okay, I thought you said Lamar, and I'm like, that's different quarterback, Thomas.
No.
So to give y'all a little bit of a start off here a little bit with this predictions recap where we recap all the predictions we made and kind of talk about the games we got wrong and exactly what we were kind of thinking there and everything. So far, and I cannot believe this. This is absolute crap. I'll start off by saying me and Thomas both picked the Saints to win this game. This Monday night game that we're watching right now. Looking like the Saints are about to get the go ahead score here.
Man,
And there's like
maybe.
2 minutes left. Well, I mean they're at least going to get a field goal.
Maybe.
Well, okay, maybe, but
I mean,
they're
like, you know how bad kickers been
probably
this year.
well, yeah, sure. But I don't know. Maybe they'll go into overtime. Maybe we'll have more interesting things to talk about there too. I hope it goes to overtime.
Me too. I feel like that B-Dubs commercial.
Yeah.
Can we
Not
get
really been a
overtime?
great game so far, but me and Thomas did both pick the Saints to win, so we're trying to see if they're going to actually make us right on that. So Thomas, you know what's insane and just infuriates me? I almost picked a perfect slate this week.
Oh, for real?
Almost. Right
Oh, for
now,
real?
I'm 12-1, about to go to 13-1.
Okay, that means I did bad this week.
You know what that one game I got wrong was, Thomas?
Oh, we already know the one game that got wrong is. Because I got that game right. So it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
So you're mad about being wrong. So your pride hurts.
Yeah,
But
but
you're
you know
happy
what? You know
about
what?
being right.
I'll take the Bengals winning over me being right.
Hey,
Honestly,
well, what did I say the title of the last episode should be? But then you made the title the biggest Case Keenum fan. Yeah, I seen that. But I said the episode should be: Do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich? Something like that. It was something along that lines.
that was a good one.
But what
I'm
matters
not
more,
gonna
your
lie.
pride or the
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
the fruitful?
I forgot what the quote was supposed to be for the title of the episode, so I just picked the first thing I could think of.
I hate you. I literally was like, well, what did I say? Something like along the lines of, I for just this week, I am the biggest Case
Right,
Keenum
which
fan, or
is
something along the lines of that.
which is what I intended to convey. I think when Around the Block tweeted out their promotion for our Spotify and Apple uploads,
Uh,
they created their own. I emailed the guy a description,
uh,
and they made up their own description. He's just like, Thomas tells the world why he's the biggest Case Keenum fan. I'm like, that's not what that was meant to convey. I mean, I get they can't listen to the whole hour and a half long podcast before they put it up because they got a lot of stuff going on. But
yeah,
I sent them a description. I explained what the thing was, and they completely took that out of context.
I took it way out of context.
Yeah.
I think Coro might be hurt. That was a nasty fall. I always get scared when these basketball players fall from like 10 feet in the air to the ground on their hips and stuff. Ugh. That was not a good fall.
All right. So
He can shake that off. He's just hurt. He's just a little shaken up. Yeah. So what was my record this week?
your record was 9-4. Not too bad.
Okay, I'll take that.
But I
I take that.
you're either gonna finish 10-4 or 9-5, depending on if the Saints finish this game off or not.
Yeah.
But so let's start off. Let's start off with the games that you got wrong because, and the main reason I want to start off with the games that you got wrong is because
we did a whole podcast on the game that you got wrong.
Yeah, I think the game that I got wrong is the one we would typically save for last anyway because it's an AFC North game. And I feel like that's the hook. Like people want to hear me talk about why I was wrong about that game. They don't care if you talk about getting the Titans wrong. You know what? Let's start with that one. Why did you think? Like I picked the Tennessee Titans to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Why did you think that the Chiefs, the way they've been playing lately? What was your thought process?
It's crazy. It's crazy because the thing is, and I haven't said this in the predictions last week.
Yeah,
is that I really don't believe. I think that this Chiefs team is collapsing. I said it 3 weeks ago against the what's it called? Against the when I said who did I say my big upset was? The Jets against the Titans and they're playing well, or the Jets against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jets team scrappy. Maybe they might get a W.
I think it was the Titans, and you were correct about that.
No, it wasn't the Jets. It was the Jets. No, who was the team that the Chiefs played? No, it was the Eagles.
Yeah,
it was the Eagles versus the Chiefs. The Eagles played the Chiefs, and I was like, I just think this Chiefs team is not believable, and I just think they're going to take this team for granted. They're going to lose.
So then, why did you pick them to beat the Titans?
Because I just don't count out Patrick Mahomes at the same time. I was like, Patrick Mahomes can't be that bad. I'm just fighting with myself.
So don't count out Derrick Henry.
I should have listened to my first instinct. Well, the thing was, they beat the Eagles, and I was like, all right, fine, let me shut up. They're coming back. They'll be fine. That's actually what my thinking was. I was like, they're coming back. They'll be fine. They just beat the Eagles. But really, they just beat the Eagles. Like, it wasn't like they beat anybody significant because the Eagles are an NFC team. And as we're seeing, the AFC is just very competitive. So, I don't know. I just thought Patrick Mahomes. The moral to the story, Patrick Mahomes. That's what I thought. That's all I need. That's all the reason I needed. And I needed more of a reason to just say Derrick Henry.
I'm right now, I'm done believing the Chiefs are going to win big games until they show me a little something. Like I totally believe the Chiefs are going to turn it around this year. They're going to go back to being to winning ways at some point this year. But I'm not entirely sure if I know when that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be in time. We'll see. We'll see on that one. The next game that you picked wrong was actually the Sunday night football game. You thought that the San Francisco 49ers were going to beat the Colts, and man, they didn't really seem to stand much of a chance against the Colts. I mean, you hate Carson Wentz that much?
I just didn't think that the 49ers would get beat by the Colts, because I didn't think the Colts were really that good.
Well, here's the thing. The Colts have been playing people, like, kind of decently. I mean, they took the Ravens down to the wire.
Man, I still mad about that game.
Right.
That's really, if I'm being real with you, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. I watched that game. I was like, I'm never picking this team ever again to ever do anything ever.
Right. That's fair. I think I almost picked against the Colts for that reason too.
And I honestly do. Dang, I'm about to lose in fantasy. Unless Metcalf catch like a 10-yard bomb or something. I'm about to lose in fantasy. God dang it.
I do believe Geno Smith is a bad quarterback. I'm just gonna say that he keeps getting into these close games against. He keeps getting into these close games where he has a chance to go win these games, and then he just like falls apart.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen: Geno Smith is a bad quarterback.
Yes, I already knew that. I was just pointing out. I was just pointing it out because I'm fascinated by this.
San Francisco is not a bad coach team. They're not a bad team. But I mean, Carson Wentz, man, he actually haven't been looking that bad. I probably should have picked him up instead of picking up freaking Sam Darnold.
Well, you know what? At the time, I don't. I think you. I think at the time you probably made the right call.
I mean, Carson Wentz is doing his thing, but we'll see how long it lasts. But the Colts look like a playoff team,
Yeah.
kind of.
Wait, you said the Colts look like a playoff team?
Nah, not really. There's 7 teams that make the playoffs, dude. There's 7 teams that make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but the Colts. I think the Colts are like right now, like maybe a fringe playoff, maybe a fringe team for the playoff race. But as far as actually making the playoffs, I don't know about that.
Well, think about it. They get 4 automatic wins this year.
4?
Yeah, automatic wins this year. They got 4 of them.
What are those for?
The Jaguars and the Texans.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
They have 4 automatic wins. If they can't sweep those 2 teams in the trash. But I mean, those are 4 automatic wins right there. They just hand it to them. Here you go, 4 wins. At least go 3-1 in that. At least go 3-1 against those 2 teams. Like that, just hand it to them on silver platter. Boom, take it. That's 4 wins right there. All they gotta do is just find a way to win like 4 or 5 more games and then in playoffs.
What's nuts is they still have 3 of those games remaining. They've only played the Texans once. They haven't played the Jaguars at all this year.
Man, Geno Smith sucks.
Yeah, Geno Smith is terrible.
Ah,
but it works out for our predictions.
Doesn't work off my fantasy team.
Well, okay. Because of DK Metcalf, right?
You can at least try to make that catch, DK. How come the Steelers get to play?
I think he tried.
How come the Steelers get to play the Seahawks with an injured Wilson, but the Browns got to play the 6-0 Cardinals? like that's just our luck. That's just our luck. J.J. Watt wouldn't be able to knock Baker Mayfield's sock out of place if we were playing the Seahawks. What other game I get wrong?
So you picked the Carolina Panthers over the New York Giants, which is fair. However, fair. I didn't make the same mistake.
Look, man.
Sam Darnold's trash, dude. I'm here to tell you that right now.
I'm going to be real with you. Sam Darnold is trash, man, and I'm here to tell you that too. Like, I got burned by that man, big time.
And Daniel Jones out here doing his best David Beckham, or it's not David Beckham, Odell Beckham impression. You see, he made that one-handed catch.
He's the best running quarterback in the NFL. What you mean?
And he's the best receiving quarterback in the NFL too.
That's great.
Problem is he's a trash actual quarterback.
The best receiver quarterback in the NFL is Jarvis Landry, dude. Come on.
Okay. That's not quite the same thing. All right. Final result, Saints did beat the Seahawks, so I move ahead to 13-1, and Thomas, you move ahead to 10-4 on the week, which puts
the Cavs beat the Denver Nuggets, so
which puts me at 78-30 on the year, and Thomas, that puts you at 64-44 on the year.
Well, at least I had a good week.
So you got anything else to say about the Giants and Panthers, Thomas?
Sam Darnold, you suck. Go Cavs.
Yeah, he's not looking so good lately. He fooled us all into thinking that he was just a product of the Jets being terrible, and it turns out that you might have been part of why the Jets were terrible to Sam Darnold. Man. Now, granted, in his defense, I think part of the reason he's as terrible as he is because he didn't get any sort of like development in New York.
I think you bounce back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Holy cow, the Saints are 4-2. I don't think they're for real that 4. I don't think that's for real 4-2 though.
They'll lose their next game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about that next week.
So the final game that you got wrong, Thomas, you projected that the Philadelphia Eagles. For some reason, you keep believing in the Eagles. You projected them to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. So why? Why? Like you got to stop with these Eagles, man. You got to stop with the Eagles.
Well, you
Eagles
know
are
what's gonna
bad.
happen. I'm gonna give up on them, and they're gonna go like a little mini tear.
Right.
How it goes. Uh, I just think that the Raiders is gonna. I keep on believing the Raiders are gonna collapse after losing their head coach, but really they're rallying. So I guess it's me not believing in the Raiders. You know what it was? I was believing in the Raiders. I did believe in the Raiders the first couple weeks, and then I listened to you, Kyle. I listened
I stopped
to
doing that
you.
too.
I listened to you. That's what it is with that one. You was like the Raiders aren't this, the Raiders aren't that. They're fraud.
Well, they
Uh,
were, but
John
apparently
Gruden
the
was going
issue
to end
was
up running
John
this
Gruden.
team. Yeah, you literally said that too. Like John Gruden was a problem there. They play sloppy, and ever since they got rid of John Gruden, they stopped playing sloppy. So I'm not gonna be with you. I think the problem was Gruden.
Well, I mean, John Gruden, prior to those emails coming out, John Gruden was one of my favorite coaches, like, of my life. Like, I always enjoyed John Gruden. I'm very sad to see those emails come out. It makes me think much less of him. But before that, John Gruden was one of my favorite coaches. So I didn't necessarily want to believe that the Raiders were playing as sloppy as they were because John Gruden was holding them back, but it's really starting to look like John Gruden was holding them back because they're on their interim coach now and they're playing the best football they've played all year.
Yeah, no, I mean like that. Maybe they're rallying behind the interim coach, kind of similar to how the Browns rallied with what's his name,
Gray Williams.
Greg Williams. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it happens. We've seen this happen in the NFL multiple times where teams rally after getting a coach fired, and it turns out that coach was more of a problem in the locker room than expected, and the team feels kind of like the world have the way have been lifting off of them. They rally behind a new coach.
Yeah, and on top of that, very rarely do you have a team that's as talented as the Raiders are losing their coach midseason because
Yeah, I mean
you
they
got to
are a very
remember John
talented team.
Gruden didn't get fired because the Raiders were doing badly. John Gruden got fired because he's a racist asshole.
They got some really talented players in that team, man. You got Jacobs. Carr's not a bad quarterback. Um, you still got Mariota as your backup. You have some pieces on that defense.
Yeah.
You have a great tight end. You have a really good receiver in Henry. Like, yeah, they have a good team.
With good coaching, the Raiders could do very well, and it's starting to look like Bisaccia is doing a pretty good job as a coach. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't wait till we beat them, but
I guess that just goes to show you, how good of a coach John Gruden really ever was. He won that Super Bowl. Tony Dungy built him a team, but when he left Oakland the first time around, Oakland went to the Super Bowl after he left. So who knows what the Raiders are going to do now?
Yeah, no, we'll see, man. I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to see how this Raiders team rally and the stories that come out about them when they fire their coach.
Yep.
All right, that's the last game I got wrong.
That was the last game you got wrong. Now,
All right, cool. That's it.
Now we got to talk about the game that I got wrong.
Ah,
Because Thomas, I could have had a perfect sweep this week, but I tried to get a little too cute. I had this feeling inside of me that I think this might be the Bengals' week. I think they might go. I didn't think the Bengals were going to beat them the way they did beat them.
dude, that was great.
But
That was great.
I did think somewhere deep down, I'm like, man, should I be taking the Bengals in these predictions? Because I really do think the Bengals might win this one. But I don't know. I was like, no, Kyle, you got to be objective. You got to, tell them how you really think it's going to really happen. And I think I probably was leaning a little bit more toward the Bengals are probably not going to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. Well, my God, the Bengals beat the Ravens in Baltimore, and they did it in the same way the Ravens have been beating us for these last few years, which is, keeping it close through most of the week, or sorry, keeping it close through most of the game. The game's not nearly as much of a blowout as the final score indicates, but like I said, the Bengals did what the Ravens have done to the Bengals for years, which is they broke through. They broke through late in the second half and started piling it on at that point. And so, I mean, this 41-17 scoreline, in reality, the last time it was 27-17. That was really, I think, that 10-point deficit. The Bengals were the better team, but I think the Ravens were much closer than the 41-17 final score indicates. The only reason we ended up 41-17 was honestly because Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine broke way loose on two relatively close plays late in the game after the Ravens had basically already kind of given up. And the Bengals defense played great. Bengals defense absolutely deserved to win that game, but it was, I think, the final score does not really indicate quite how really a lot closer that matchup really was. The Bengals definitely won, and they ended up winning with an absolutely massive margin of victory, but the way they won was not quite as lopsided, ultimately. And that's the way that the Ravens have been beating us for years, which was, not lopsided until the game just breaks wide open.
I seen a meme on Twitter where it had last year Lamar Jackson sitting on the bench against the Bengals with the sunglasses on, and this year with him on the bench
yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened, Lamar?
Well, the Bengals got good. That's what happened. I've said it before. The Bengals are a legit Super Bowl contender right now. That doesn't mean I think that they're going to. That doesn't mean I'm guaranteeing they're going to be in the Super Bowl this year. That means the Bengals. If the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl this year, I don't know if anybody at this point would be shocked. Now, if the Bengals make the Super Bowl, everybody on the planet's going to be like, can you believe the Cincinnati Bengals made the Super Bowl after how bad they were that last year? But I'm saying right now, if you were to tell people, if you were to go, like somebody from the future were to come back to right now after this big blowout against the Ravens and tell everybody the Bengals are going to make the Super Bowl, you're going to have a lot less people who are really shocked about that than it would have been the case a month ago. Or, hell, 2 weeks ago.
No, I completely agree with you.
So here's the thing, this whole thing that we as Bengals fans, like us in the Bengals fan community, we have this constant fear that the other shoe is going to drop, and so that I think partly weighed into my prediction that the Ravens were going to win this game because it just feels too good to be true that the Bengals are this damn good. I don't know if they've ever been this good in my lifetime. That 2005 team was getting there, but they weren't quite that good just yet. This Bengals team is already that good. And this Bengals team is already at the point where I don't care who you put us up against. You could put us up against the Bills. You could put us up against the Packers again. You could put us up against the Arizona Cardinals. And not necessarily saying I would pick the Bengals to win all of those games, all of those matchups, but I would absolutely believe that the Bengals have a fighting chance, and I would absolutely believe that, I totally think it's 100% realistic that we go win that game. Whereas 2 weeks ago, putting us up against the Cardinals, I'd be like, okay, we're about to go get our asses beat, but hopefully we can at least keep it close. Now it's no, I think the Bengals should win these games. And if they don't, it's a disappointment. That's where we're at this point as far as Bengals expectations go. And so you probably won't hear me doing a whole lot more doubting the Bengals like I did on the predictions this week. I'm not saying I'm going to pick them for every game going forward, but I am saying as far as games that I genuinely think that they if I have a feeling that the Bengals are going to win this game, I'm going to go full on with that feeling because I picked against the Bengals because I thought logically it made more sense. The Bengals just didn't match up quite as well against the Ravens.
You're a very logical person.
But There's no matchup for Jamar Chase.
There is no matchup for that dude. He does
The
that little spin move out of freaking getting tackled by 4 people.
The Ravens have one of the best cornerback rooms in the NFL. And they could not handle Jamar Chase. Like, I mean, it was like watching Devontae Adams play against us.
Yeah, he's special.
And Devontae Adams is probably the best wide receiver in the NFL. Jamar Chase might be number 2 already.
He might be number 1.
He might be number 1, honestly.
As I'm watching that,
I don't know about that though. Devontae Adams is just on another level. Like, I mean, I think Jamar Chase could absolutely get there, but I think Devontae Adams is already where Jamar Chase is trying to get to.
Maybe one day the Browns will have a elite receiver.
Well, they had one. He just smoked a bunch of weed.
Or just keep getting injured.
Well, see that. Okay, so
Odell Beckham. I'm waiting for Odell Beckham. I still believe he could break out.
He could. He's got the talent. Odell Beckham Jr. 1,000,000,000% has the talent to be a great, elite wide receiver. He is an elite talent at the wide receiver position. The problem with him is, I think the problem with him is its mentality. I think that's part of why he never really reached his potential quite in New York. I think that's part of why they traded him away. And since he's been in Cleveland, it's like, you see the flashes. You see Odell Beckham Jr. has the talent, he has the skill set, he has the gifts to be this amazing elite talent, but he doesn't have the right mindset for it. Like, it's either he's just sitting out in games that make no sense for him to be sitting out in, or it's he's demanding the ball and basically getting like kind of hurting his chemistry with Baker Mayfield in the process, or he's just not really focusing on the things that he needs to be focusing on.
I really don't think the Browns, offense is really designed for somebody like Baker, for like Odell Beckham to have a great game anyway.
Well, that is sort of true. Kevin Stefanski's not the one who brought Odell Beckham Jr. in. So,
but like, there's so many weapons on the team. We talked about this on the podcast. I mean, you got 3 tight ends who could catch the ball on you anytime. So, like...
And 3 tight ends who can drop the ball on you at any time.
Yeah, and then you have 3 running backs who can also catch the ball anytime. Then you got Jarvis Landry. Then you got these young receivers. So, like, he's competing with his own team. It's not like he's the primary weapon. But he should be. He's still fast. I watched him play in person. I've been looking at him. He's getting open. He actually has been getting open. He got open a couple of times. Like, so it's just the quarterback's not throwing the ball for real. I mean, real with you. But he's having drops. So do you trust him? But he's been getting open. I can tell you from watching the games and being at the games, because Cameron don't point at him all the time. But from watching the games, he's been getting open.
Well, getting open is only half the battle, though.
Yeah, when you're dropping the ball on 4th down and the ball hits you right in the chest, I can understand why quarterbacks aren't throwing you the ball.
Right.
But he should. He's getting open though. So if you're getting open, it's just a matter of time. I still think he's gonna have a breakout game. You can't trade him because his trade value is so darn low. You might as well wait till the offseason.
Exactly. And honestly, let's see. How long is Odell Beckham's contract?
He got another year after this year.
Okay, because I'm starting to wonder.
You probably get more value from when you put him with his offseason.
Well, what I'm actually thinking is, would it maybe make more sense for the Browns to actually hold on to Odell Beckham Jr. next year, let his contract naturally expire,
and then re-sign him to less money?
No. Let him go in free agency, and then he goes and signs with another team, and potentially at the very least eats up a bunch of snaps for that team, and then the Browns get a decent compensatory pick. Is any compensatory pick that the Browns could get for Odell Beckham Jr. greater than what they're going to get for him in trade value? Right. Possibly.
Now. I don't think they should trade him though. I just don't think you can get anything for him.
Well, that would be the best of both worlds it would give the Browns another year to possibly see that Odell Beckham Jr.
I still think he's gonna have. I still think that he could break out any game. I really do think that it could just happen at any moment. I mean, maybe I'm just like I just have that Dallas game just burned in my head.
Maybe
Like
the Giants really did send them to Cleveland to die.
I never seen anything like that in my life though. That performance that he had against Dallas was insane. Like
when
he
was
had
that?
100 rushing, he had like 100 rushing yards and 100 receiving yards, something crazy like that, right? It was insane.
What year was that?
That was literally last year.
That was last year.
It's Kevin Stancy offense. Kevin Stancy literally just let him go off against Dallas.
Yeah, so he had 81 yards receiving and 73 yards rushing. God damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
3 touchdowns by himself.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Although I will say, I will say, you're saying you've never seen anything like that. I think Jamar Chase had a better game this week.
Yeah, Jamar Chase didn't freaking. Nah, he did have a good play. But that run, that 50-yard run by Odell Beckham was just. That was the thing, though, was that he had that performance and he didn't get that many targets. He just every single time he had a chance to attack, he attacked.
That's not entirely true. He got targeted 8 times and only came down with 5 of them.
Yeah, he had a freaking 55-yard rushing touchdown. That was just phenomenal. That iced the game. I just kicked that rushing touchdown out of my head. Seeing that live, he should have been sacked 5 yards behind. Cool. But I never seen anything like that in person. I haven't.
Well,
maybe if I seen that Jamar Chase performance, I would have thought that. But I didn't see it in person.
All right. Well, anyway, guys.
I mean, Jamar Chase didn't have a better game, but still, that game.
I think that's all we got for the predictions this week. Didn't have too many things to talk about because, like I said, I only got one wrong, and I'm salty as hell about the one that I got. I'm over here like, man, I could have had a perfect week if I had just picked the Bengals. Like, how often does that happen? But I'll still take it. 12-1's a pretty good. 12-1's pretty good for all the games that I didn't have some sort of emotional tie to. I got them all right. So there's that. Man,
I wish Metcalf had one more touchdown.
Yeah, that's.
But I would have been right in predictions. I would have been right in predictions, so it's fine.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have the fantasy game.
No, I gotta win these predictions. I got at least tread water.
We picked the same team though. You're not gonna get ahead of me by getting that game right.
Yeah, but 10-4 sounds a lot better than
9-5.
I at least got I got at least tread water, dude. I got at least tread water.
I suppose. Anyway, guys, that's it for predictions this week. Like I said, we didn't really have a whole lot to talk about because I only got 1 wrong and Thomas only got 4 wrong. So not really a whole lot to speak of here. So we'll catch you next. Let's see. I guess Thursday, right?
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah, Thursday. We'll catch you Thursday night for the predictions segment for Week 8. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can get it started early enough. It really just kind of depends on how long it takes us to record the podcast. But hopefully we can get it started early enough that we still have a decent amount of that Thursday night game left to go. Who's playing on Thursday night, by the way?
Thursday night football. Looks like
Packers and Cardinals.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
Be a good one. Yeah. So
should we make that prediction like right now since we're doing the prediction episode?
It's a little early, but sure. Why not?
We want to make it early anyway. Packers and Cardinals, real quick.
Well, it's like 3 days away, so I guess it's not that damn early.
What do
you think? What do you think?
Who's playing home that game?
Cardinals, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Kyle?
What?
On this very early prediction, man, could I change my pick if in 2 days?
As long as you, well, I mean that'd be
No,
kind of
I'm going with
lame.
it. No,
That'd be
no,
kind of
you're right.
lame, but
You
you as long you can always change your pick like
that would be lame. That would be lame.
before the game starts. But I mean that'd be kind of lame if you're gonna put it on live like this. Then I say just go with it.
You're right. You're right, Kyle. I gotta go with my instinct. I'm not gonna ask for your opinion because every single time try and get your opinion, I always end up getting burned.
I did just give you my opinion though.
Well, yeah, I know, but your opinion, dang, I'm about to get burned again, ain't I? You know what? F it. You know
There's
what?
no escaping it.
Cause like, it's just like every single time you say stuff is right for you, but it's wrong for me, and then I go with it, and I go like, nah. But when I go with your opinion, I get burned. But when I don't go with your opinion, I get burned. So it's just like I'm just 0 for 0 with this. Anyway.
So who are you picking?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers?
I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna go
because
with Kyler
he's
Murray.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray. Not necessarily because he's Kyler Murray, but just because I think the Arizona Cardinals are a more complete football team than the Green Bay Packers.
They're
now.
way more complete. They're a way more complete team, but weird things happen on Thursday night.
That's true. I mean, if we're talking like quarterback versus quarterback, like 1 for 1, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Kyler Murray. But I think Kyler Murray's good enough that like he can make up for enough deficiencies, or like the Cardinals around him can make up for enough deficiencies that, the Packers are still a little banged up. So
yeah, but I mean, we talk about these Thursday night games. Like again, I just said that the away team, the home team wins at a very high percentage. We don't have the percentage, but we should probably put that percentage next episode.
We'll figure out that percentage, but I'm definitely going to go with the Cardinals on this one.
But I just think that Thursday night games are sometimes they come down to just like sometimes they just turn to like just backyard football games, and it just comes down to instinct because you have so little time to practice before a Thursday night football game. It's literally based off of instinct. And if I think if the game's close, I'm going to Packers.
All right. Well, we'll see on Thursday what happens. I just thought about this. Like,
I just want to be fun.
The game's 3 days away, but we always do like the predictions episode on Thursday, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is 3 days away from the regular games anyway. So I mean, we might as well start doing it this way. Like predicting the Thursday games on the Monday episode. I think that actually makes sense. We should start doing it that way.
Yep, we should. I totally agree. 1,000% agree.
All right, so Thomas, you're taking the Green Bay Packers, and I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals. So,
all right, it's gonna be fun now.
I don't feel like pulling up the playoff predictors website though. That we keep track of all this on.
But we know,
and then just keeping that on my desktop. So just remember, I guess we have it like evidence of it on this live stream here. But just remember your pick because I'm not writing it down right now.
Oh, I'm gonna remember it. Trust me.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Like I said, we'll catch you on Thursday for the next predictions episode. The podcast will probably be up in a couple of days. Look forward to that. I had some fun recording that one, man, because of the Bengals win over the Baltimore Ravens. I screamed into a pillow at one point. I think I terrified Thomas. It was great.
I see. I just wasn't expecting that. I just wasn't expecting that. To be honest.
I think I may have also accidentally woken up my son, who was asleep at the time. So sorry.
The last time you screamed to a pillow during a podcast
was when Joe Burrow hurt his knee.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was probably about a year ago from around this time.
Well, this win was arguably about as impactful as that injury was.
Hey, man.
Considering he ended up coming back and being fine, not Now, if that injury like ruined his career or something like that, then obviously that injury would have been more impactful. But considering he ended up being fine, like he came back the next year and everything was all good, I would argue that this Ravens win was just as important and impactful as Joe Burrow's knee injury was, just in a more positive way.
Just give me one slant route, Odell Beckham. One slant route to the end zone against the Steelers. Just do it.
You know
just
what?
do it once.
You know what? Like even though like I'm the big Odell Beckham doubter and I want to take my victory laps and stuff like that, I will 1,000,000,000% take Odell Beckham Jr. good game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, as long as it means the Steelers get embarrassed. I want to see that.
Like overload on Nick Chubb when Nick Chubb burn y'all, because you already talked about this. Nick Freddy Cougar Chubb. Please give that to me. Oh, we got some big games coming up next week.
For the third time, I'm going to go ahead and try to sign off here. So thanks for listening, everybody. Go catch the podcast, which will be out in a couple of days. Go check us out on the predictions episode on Thursday. And, we'll catch y'all then. Who dey?
Go Browns.